In this video we are going to demonstrate the three-part exercise called 7's. This is for the stimulation of the bicep muscle. Right, this exercise is quite technical and we are going to demonstrate the actual technical aspects of this exercise, starting with the pickup, bent knee pickup to get your weight. This exercise, first thing is shoulders back, chest out, face front, back straight, arms come up a little bit forward, straighten your arms. There we go. The first part of this exercise is from the rest position to exactly horizontal. Okay, demonstrate. You count 7 reps. Right. At this point, you continue from there to there. Okay. Keep in mind, shoulders back, chest out, looking forward, knees a little bit bent. Perfect, you're perfect by the way. You don't have to change. Okay? Okay. Now we do the full motion. Seven times. So altogether, it's 21. Some people call this exercise 21. Okay, let's do the sideways view. First thing is to get the correct posture. Shoulder width is correct. Bend the knees slightly. Back straight. Much better. Look at this vertical line here. Remember I said you can use the wall. If you want to, you can stand by a wall to get used to this vertical. Neck back. There you go. Face the front. Perfect. Next thing, shoulders back, chest out. You're now ready to perform an exercise. In fact, when you walk in the gym, you should immediately lock your shoulders back. This will isolate the muscle you're busy with. Now, Michael is going to shift his arm just a little bit forward. There we go. You see that position there. The first part of this exercise consists of starting there and going to the horizontal position. So if you could imagine there was a spirit level there showing the horizontal position, and this is a hinge, and this is not going to move. Only this part of the forearm is going to move. Right, go to the horizontal position. Perfect. Do 7 of those. Note this hinge system does not rock. There's no rocking that's taking place. Okay, after 7, it goes from the horizontal position to about 80 degrees. Go for it. All the while keeping back, head, glutes in alignment. Now, after those first 2 parts, you go from the starting position all the way to the ending position of the second phase. Go. Perfect. And you do 7 more. So it was 7, 7, and 7, which makes it 21 altogether. Right, so moving right into the analytical explanation using some diagrams. First thing is the posture. The posture must be straight. Knees slightly bent, shoulder width, foot position. Look at neck. If you see this line was extended, you can see that this posture is completely straight. Right. Now, just before I go to the next slide, I want you to be aware of something. Look at the shoulders. The shoulders are just kind of relaxed. Let's do a better color here. If you look at the shoulder, you can see they're kind of in line there. Now, I'm going to hop to the next slide, and what I want you to see is how the shoulders are supposed to lock back and the chest must come forward in order to isolate the bicep. Now, you might be thinking, how does that isolate the bicep? How it isolates the bicep is the minute your shoulders get locked back, chest out, and your arm gets locked in this position, only the bicep here gets trained when the weight goes up and down, for the reason that no lateral movement is taking place. So the locking of the shoulders kind of stops you from swinging. Right, now I can see there the shoulder has shifted back. Look at the line now. If I draw the line again where the shoulder, center of the shoulder is, you can see how it's moved back. Call that probably 5 centimeters. And that's what's important, because with that shoulder locked back, and then when you keep your arm a little bit angled, you'll see that the rocking and the swinging up, the momentum, and the poor form is actually mitigated. Right. Now, Michael has now gone into the correct position. Shoulders are back. Chest is coming out. Now that's the angle. That's the starting point. Now, what I would like to highlight is this should be seen as a hinge. So this thing should not actually move. Imagine a door. This is like the frame. And this is the part of the door that is going to move. So we don't want the frame to move. You see, this is the frame. We don't want that to shift left and right, because that means we are going to be throwing the weight up, and that's not correct. Okay, just to recap, the point of 7s is 3-part exercise. We start here and we go to the horizontal, and you do that 7 times. Up, down, up, down, up, down, 7 times. That's the first 7. Right. Then the next one is from the horizontal to just in front of your chest. And you do that 7 times. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's the second part of the exercise. And then the third part is the full motion. 1, return, 2, return, and you do that 7 times. And that is 7, 7, 7, and you've got 21. And that is one set. So it's kind of one set of 3 subsets, each consisting of 7 reps. Okay, moving along. Now what I'm doing there is I'm just highlighting the horizontal plane, and the reason why I'm highlighting that is it's quite easy to chuck up the weight. This starts going over there, and is no point in doing the exercise of 7. So this is called analytical training, and the reason why I'm going into this detail is we're going for perfection here. Right, so this is the first part, must end there as I explained. Right, moving on. And now he's doing the part phase 2, as I said, and now he's going from the horizontal position to about 80 degrees. You can see I'm holding that at about 80 degrees. And as I've explained in my other video, there's no point going all that way, going to the chin, because what happens is it becomes momentum. The gravity actually is helping you after about this point, is actually less tension on the bicep, and we don't want the bicep to rest. Okay, so this is now the another picture just showing once again that is about the end position. And then the third iteration is the final part, final 7, and then you're doing the full rep as I explained before. Notice this slight gap there. But just because there's a gap there doesn't mean that this part of your arm should move. Not at all. This thing must be locked in place. Okay, now we're going to show you some boo-boos, what not to do. First thing is the rocking. Okay. Yes, that's what I wanted. Look at that. Look at that cheating. That is just momentum. Okay, go all the way up. Also wrong. Look at this hinging system moving here. This is just momentum. And then chuck it down. Like let it fall down. See, look at that. Falling down. Not resisting it on the negative part of the motion. Throw it up now. This is throwing up. Throwing. Okay. Also wrong. Chucking it up. Right, now I'm going to analyze the mistakes that people make when doing this exercise. The first thing is you can see the posture. Knees have become a bit too straight. Look at this leaning now that has happened. He's starting to chuck up the weight. When you chuck the weight, what happens is your body then balances you by leaning back. Right, another thing that's a problem. This angle here is not too bad, but you'll see in the next slide how this angle is becoming too wide. You're going to see that this is becoming a pendulum, and that's not the aim. The aim is not to rock your arm, but to move just your forearm. Right, you can see how then it shifted back. Look how the weight is now resting on the knees. Bicep is now relaxed. The point of the training is to actually keep it tense the whole time. Now he's actually relaxed. Look, he's starting to, the posture is starting to get a little bit, not too bad, but yeah. That's what I was actually looking for. Look at this now. You see he's getting ready to pull the weight up, and this, you find this a lot in the gym. The guys get ready to pull the weight towards himself, and then you can see how he's almost leaning forward to gain a bit of traction, and the knees are still locked straight, very bad for the spine, and the arms have now deflected back in order to chuck it up. So I'll ask you the question, what weight can you do? What weight can you do using correct form versus what weight are you doing using the assistance of shoulders? Because look, now he's leaning back and now he's going to chuck it up. He's going to bring into contention his chest, his shoulders, his tummy, his lower back, calves. Because when you chuck it up, you'll see the more pressure is pressed on the ground. Anyway, so you're actually sharing the load, and therefore your bicep is actually under less tension. Right, moving forward. In this picture, what I'm just demonstrating here again is the resting. You can see here his arm is actually just at rest. Look how his bar is no longer tensed. You see his neck is looking up like that for some reason. It's better to actually keep your neck in one position. Alright, Michael is going to demonstrate how to put the weight down using a straight back bent knee.